Dr. Mielke, welcome back. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Robin.
Of all the things you do over there, that one caught my attention because you're hearing more and more about, you know, as the graying of America and women especially losing their hormones. Back in the day, it was let's replace those hormones and we'll all feel better.
With pregnant horse urine.
Oh, yeah? Okay, see, now that probably was the problem, right? Because then
Premarin
is this.
Yes.
See, and okay, so people were taking their doctor's advice and taking these hormones, and then, oh boy, you're going to become, you know, you're going to get dementia, or you're going to have this, that, or the
Cancer.
other. So yes, so women backed off of the hormones, and yet, take us up there. Women need hormones.
Women and men need hormones. Everyone needs hormones. Our bodies are designed to function with an optimal amount of hormones, and most people don't realize that our hormone levels start to decline in our 30s, and actually our absolute peak optimal levels are when you're about 23. So it's actually downhill from there.
Isn't that scary?
Kind of depressing.
Yeah, it is.
So, but after the age of 35, they really start to decline, and there's multiple hormones involved here. It's not just estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, the major ones that people are aware of, but DHEA, pregnenolone, cortisol, obviously thyroid. There are many hormones that people need and are not getting replaced at optimal levels, even when they go to their doctors and ask for hormone replacement or get a thyroid test. Many times the doctor will only order a TSH, for example, for thyroid, and that's not an optimal test for thyroid function. So there are so many people out there who are suffering from hormone deficiency symptoms, and they don't even know it.
And if they went 10 years ago to their doctor and was given something to replace it, it wasn't, how do we say this right? It wasn't the real stuff, was it? And that's the problem.
Absolutely.
What happened there?
Well, you can't patent a bioidentical hormone. And bioidentical means that it's the same exact chemical structure that your body would make.
Okay.
So there's a difference between bioidentical and natural, because actually horse hormones have been called natural.
Well, that's what they would be.
Because an animal made them. It's just not a human animal.
Right.
So bioidentical is the key word here, because it is the hormones that our bodies were designed to need.
And you don't create those in a lab.
They are actually chemically made in a lab, actually from plants.
But from plants, okay.
From plants. They come from plants, and then they are synthesized by major drug companies. But the chemical structure of them is exactly the same. That's the key. It's exactly the same as what your body would normally make when you were in your 20s and 30s.
So the problem that people became so concerned about was that women, and we'll use women in this case, were being prescribed hormones that, although natural, were not bioidentical. And so even though they had the same name, that's what's so confusing.
Well, they weren't exactly the same name. So if you actually read carefully, for instance, the progesterone substitute in many of the old hormone studies was progestin. So it's similar, but it's not the same. Progestin is not progesterone. It's not bioidentical progesterone. And many studies, the World Health Initiative studies, many studies have shown that progestin is actually very toxic and does cause all kinds of health problems. And so most women didn't know the difference between progestin and progesterone and bioidentical estrogen, estradiol, versus other kinds of hormones, again, that come from other animals even. So when you read these studies, it sounds like the conclusion is hormones are bad for you. But the real conclusion is fake hormones are bad for you.